Spurgeon here with RevZilla, and today we're going to take a look at the Klim Carlsbad Pants available at RevZilla.com. So if you are familiar with Klim, you know them as a touring ADV company, but they've really never differentiated their lines within their own brand. Well, that has changed for 2017. What they're doing is they're making it easier for riders to figure out exactly which gear is going to meet their needs the best. They're now going to have a very specific ADV line for riders that are spending, let's say, 70 to 80% of the time with their larger ADV bikes off-road. Then they're going to have a touring line. You might have a larger ADV bike, but really, other than that occasional fire road, you're sticking to the blacktop. And then there's going to be a third line, which is the 626, and that's going to be more of you outdoorsy type that really are spending some time on moto, but it's more of just being out in nature that you're really looking to accomplish with your gear. So what we have with the Carlsbad Pants is going to be in the ADV line of pants, and this is going to split from the Latitude. The Latitude is something that is now going to be put over into the touring line, which is kind of where we've seen that pair of pants for a long time now. And replacing it for the ADV line is going to be the Carlsbad. But there's a lot of DNA that's going to carry over with these pants that we've seen with the Latitude. And honestly, what I like about these is that I'm a Latitude user, but I spend the majority of my time with my Tiger 800 off-road. And there's a lot of changes that I've seen kind of worked into here with the pants, same as the jacket, that have addressed some of the downfalls that I've seen for using the Latitude gear off-road. So we're going to break that down for you in this video. But before we get into that, let's hit on sizing. Sizing for this, with the Carlsbad Pants, exactly what you'd expect from Klim. This is going to be an American fit pant, and you're going to notice, a rather roomy pair of pants as it works its way down will work over top of adventure as well as dirt boots. So, sizing for Brian on my left-hand side, he stands at 6 foot, weighs in at 195 pounds, measures his waist around his belly button at 35.5 inches, and has a 32-inch inseam. We have him in a size 34. It fits him spot on. Now remember, there's also those Velcro adjusters at the waist, so if you like a little bit more room in your waist for being in the seated position, you can get something that's a little bit larger and then just kind of use those to cinch down. But just keep in mind, these are designed for off-road use, so picture standing up the majority of the time. Now sizes are going to range from a 30 to a 42, and there will be tall options available, which will range from a 30 to a 38, which adds about an extra 1.5 inches to 2 inches of length to the pants. There is a $20 price premium for that. So these come in around the $490 price point. You do bump up to about $510 if you go with the taller length. As far as colors are concerned, you have 2 colors to choose from. You have the gray or the black version, which High-Vis Brian is sporting on my left-hand side. Now, where these fall in Klim's lineup, again, you're in the ADV line, so you already know you're spending the majority of your time off-road with these pants on a larger ADV style bike. Now, if you're a smaller dual sport rider wearing, hardcore, knee braces underneath, there's some better options out there for you. But this is really for you ADV riders that are going to ride to your destination, you're going to ride off-road, and then you're going to ride home. This is going to be below the Badlands pants rather, around that $490 price point. You're not getting all the beefed up protection that you see with the Badlands, but I'll be honest with you, I shied away from the Badlands. I spend the majority of my time with my Tiger off-road, and the Badlands was almost too aggressive, it was too stiff, I didn't have the range of motion. And what I really like about the Carlsbad, even more so than the Latitude pants that I went with, is there's a lot more range of motion. There's a lot of comfort baked in here, and you know for a fact, if you're working around on a bike off-road, it's really about being comfortable throwing yourself and leveraging that body weight without feeling like the gear is kind of holding you back. And that's really the biggest compliment that I have for the Carlsbad pants, as well as that matching jacket. And if you are considering the full suit, just remember there is going to be a full breakdown video on the matching jacket as well, so make sure to check that out for you. Now, starting with the waist, we're going to work our way through this and talk about exactly what you can expect. And the first thing that I want to hit on is going to be the zipper for this. So it might seem like a simple change, but they changed this to an AquaGuard zipper as opposed to the water-resistant YKK that had the rubberized coating on it. And the biggest place that I noticed this, and Brian, I'm just getting really hands-on here with you, so just excuse me there. I'm going to snap that back up for you. It is a covered snap, so you don't have to worry about the tank getting scratched up. As we work our way down, you're going to see a lot of the same DNA carry through from the Latitude. You're still going to have the water-resistant YKK zips on top of the vents. You have that covered scheme for the vents, massive amount of airflow through here. Works quite nicely, even in the hottest months out of the year. You are going to have Velcro waterproof pockets. They're going to be a fold-over pocket with the Velcro and then a water-resistant YKK zip underneath. The one thing that I don't like is that they have removed the third pocket. There used to be on the Latitude pants that third pocket that sat just below the thigh. This was my favorite pocket for using the Easy Pass. It was my specialized Easy Pass pocket. I reach in, pull the Easy Pass out, go through the toe, put it back in, be on my way. And keep in mind, with the Carlsbad pants, if you're an ADV rider, chances are you're riding to where you're going. Here in Philadelphia, that means I've got a 45-minute drive out to Jersey. I'm hitting 2 toll booths before I can ride off-road. So just having that in there would have been an added benefit. So minor nitpick for me, would have loved to have seen that pocket carry through. As we work our way down the knees, if you're looking at comparing this with the Badlands, what we've seen now is you no longer have the super fabric at the knee. It's a double layer of ripstop at the knee. And you're also going to have those leather inlays on the inside. This is the same as the Latitude that's going to carry over. Works great just as a gripper panel on the inside to make sure you can really kind of dig in with your legs if you're standing up in that standing position. So again, that leather on the inside of this is going to be the same carryover that we saw with the Latitude, so there's no changes there. Brian, go ahead and face sideways for me. Kick that leg back. Perfect. Starting with the waist, working our way down. You do have that waist adjuster at the top for fine tuning, and it is going to have an elasticated stretch to it. So that elastication adds to comfort. And then you're going to have T5 Evo CE rated 1 hip armor in the hips on this, and that's going to be the same armor that you're going to see on the knees. So quick note here, even though there's a tall size, with the knee armor on this, you're going to have 3 positions of adjustability, and you want to make sure that knee armor is sitting just below your knee or at your knee in the standing position, and when you're seated on the bike, that knee armor should be just over top. The one thing that I will note here is that with the hip armor, if you do have those vents open, the hip armor tends to just shift a little bit with those vents open because it kind of loosens up. So just keep that in mind. Nothing that I noticed too often, but every now and then when I would go down, the hip armor would kind of slide back depending on how you crashed. As we work our way down with this, you are going to have that pocket on the outside, same that we talked about in the inside or in the front of that, and then it's just going to be that more of a boxy cut. It's not going to be a very articulated fit. Again, really working for that range of motion, but the SPL 200 fabric really works as a more lighter weight fabric. Remember, this is that Gore shell. This is 2-shell performance Gore-Tex, and it works to keep you dry as well as to allow for breathability. And personally, I just don't think you need to move up to the Badlands for about 90% of you riders out there. You're getting a lot of what you need baked into this in a more comfortable option, and it's still going to be rigorous enough to handle what you're throwing at it. As we work our way down, minimal branding that we've seen with Klim, they've really toned back the Ks and the Klims on their pieces. So you do have that small K down at the very bottom, the top of your calf. And then the entry point for this, you are going to have 3 different snap adjusters at the bottom. Personally, I like to wear mine inside my adventure boots, but you can wear this, the opening is large enough to wear them over top. If it's raining, you certainly don't want water pouring down in from the top. And if you do want to put them in a drier condition, you can go ahead and snap that up, and they will fit inside a pair of adventure boots as well. Expansion gusset, 9-inch zipper. The one thing I'll note here is the zipper is not large enough to wear these as overpants, so the boots have to come off and back on before you can put the pants on and off again. Snapping this up, you will see that pop of reflectivity on the back, and you can go ahead and we'll be able to see it better if we have Brian go ahead and face backwards for me. So facing backwards at the bottom there, again, that pop of reflectivity at the very bottom just to add in the visible nature of these pants. And then starting with the waist, we have that elastication in the adjustment like we talked about earlier, and there is going to be that connection zip. So if you are matching this with the Carlsbad jacket, connection zip there for you. And then when we get to the seat, you are going to have that double layer of ripstop nylon like we talked about with the knee, keeping in mind that these pants are really designed for your off-road crashes. That's going to be multiple crashes at slower speeds is really the kind of protection that you're getting with the Carlsbad, as opposed to some of the more touring options, which is more geared for protection about higher speeds, that one big impact. Now there will be that Poron XRD for the Cossacks protection, just keeping your tailbone safe. And then working our way down, we have those intake vents at the front and the exhaust vents at the rear. And again, one of the things that I've noticed is the same vent scheme that are on my Latitude pants works very nicely to maximize airflow in the warmer months. Now, because this is Gore-Tex, that will help to breathe, but that extra bit of airflow is nice, especially when it's extremely hot out. Brian, you can go ahead and face forward for me. So if you've already watched the Carlsbad jacket, or perhaps you're just looking for a suit that's really going to be geared more for off-road use, this is definitely going to be one to consider. And like I said earlier, I think a lot of riders are going to be much happier with this than even bumping up to something like the Badlands. The Badlands is so beefy and almost so much protection work becomes almost cumbersome at times. The Carlsbad offering is a kind of middle ground, which offers you a nice range of motion while still keeping you safe, you know, when you're out there dumping larger ADV bikes off-road. Now, there's a lot of riders out there utilizing Klim gear. If you want to hear more about what they have to say, click the info button on your desktop or mobile device, which will allow you to read other rider reviews from folks that are already out there putting Klim gear through its paces. If you have more questions for our gear geeks as to which Klim offering is best for you, or maybe some sizing questions, give them a shout at 877-792-9455, or simply shoot us an email, cs@revzilla.com. Thank you for joining us for this look at the Klim Carlsbad Pants. I'm Spurge. Enjoy the ride.